Hello everyone, and in today's video I'm going to share with you 10.5 frugal tips that will save you money fast. And if you want to know exactly how I'm going to explain half a frugal tip, then make sure you stick around. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get going. So we're going to get right into it. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is taking shopping breaks for at least a week or 2 weeks at a time. And what that means is, unless you need absolute essentials like food or gas, you're not going to buy anything. So you just try to make it a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time out of the month or out of a couple months that you're going to do nothing as far as purchases go. And this is going to do a couple of things for you. It's going to give you a very achievable goal to be a bit more frugal, and it's going to allow you to save a lot of money. You do this and you're going to teach yourself that you really don't need to buy a lot of things all of the time, and it's just habit forming. And number two is really going to build on top of number one, and it's this one. Do not grocery shop for a week or 2 weeks out of the month. Now, this sounds absolutely ridiculous, but what it's going to do for you is force you to do more meal plans, really trying to figure out exactly what you need at the grocery store, and you're not going to be wasting money. You may be forced to eat leftovers, but that's absolutely awesome, because I know people who will not eat leftovers and they literally throw thousands of dollars into the trash every year. So take the time, meal plan, force yourself to not shop for a week or 2 weeks out of the month. Also, what you can do is you'll start looking inside of your cupboard or your pantry and see the things that you haven't used, and maybe come up with creative meal plans if you're kind of get to that point where you need to make a meal, and have some fun with it. You'll learn something that you didn't know that you could do, and cook something you've never had before. Number three, find a way to create a new stream of income. Now, this doesn't have to be anything huge. You're not looking to make $50,000 a month overnight. What you're looking to do is see if you can make $100 to $200 more per month. And like I said, that doesn't seem like a lot, but I don't know how many times I've had a friend or family say they've had car trouble and just an extra $100 would have paid the bill, or $200 would pay the bill. So you're looking to start small, and you'll see how that little bit of extra money can not only encourage you to do more, but it's going to help your bottom line out. I'm not going to get into all of the different possibilities of different streams of income. That's for another video, so just have that in mind. And number four, you really need to listen to this, because this really kind of ties into how can you make a little bit of extra money, like $100 more a month or what have you. I do this at the job that I currently work in, and you may be able to do this also, so make sure you listen, because this is really important. A very easy way to make some extra money. So I work in a factory, and we are allowed to clock in up to 10 minutes before we're supposed to be there. So that 10 minutes really equates to 10 minutes of time and a half by the end of the week. So let's kind of do the math right here. Let's say that you make $20 an hour, and at time and a half, that would equal $30 an hour. So at $30 an hour, if we cut that down into minutes, you'd be making 50 cents for every minute extra that you are there. And if you're allowed to clock in 10 minutes early like I am every single day, 50 cents every minute for 10 minutes per day. So if you're just basically working a basic 5-day work week, now you have 50 minutes. So what does that equal to? That's literally $25 extra per week, just by getting somewhere 10 minutes early. If we calculate that to 4 weeks per month, now you make $100 extra a month. And if you put that into 12 months per year, you've now made $1,200 extra a year just for showing up 10 minutes early to your job. Now, I know that I work a lot more overtime, and sometimes my Sundays are double time, so my calculation would work into double time for that day if I get there 10 minutes early, and Saturdays would calculate into that time and a half if I get there early. So I'd be making quite a bit more by the end of the year as long as I do this. And this is something I really, truly do. And it's an easy way to make a little bit of extra money. Number five, start shopping for clothing secondhand. What I mean by that is shop for Goodwill, shop yard sales, shop Salvation Army. This works out really well for me, because the job that I do have, I'm a maintenance tech, and I usually wear a uniform every single day. So that's pretty much my main clothing. Now, anything else that I wear, it's usually at home. I don't go out a lot and things like that. So I don't need to buy a lot of extra clothing. But anytime I do buy clothing, I like it to be a little bit cheaper, because I do a lot of yard work and things like that. So if I do get it dirty, I haven't paid very much for the clothing to begin with. So that's kind of a win-win for me. And you can buy secondhand other items, such as technology, right? You can buy refurbished phones. You can buy refurbished DVD players off of Amazon, and everything comes at a more of a discounted rate. So that's definitely something that you want to look into. I personally bought DVD players. I bought refurbished tablets. You can buy refurbished TVs, and half of this stuff is just items that have been sent back, repackaged, and then sent back to you after you order it. So it's a great way to save a little bit of extra money. Next, we have repurpose and reuse. Now, this is an absolutely huge one for me. As a lot of you may know, I have another YouTube channel called Kai Projects, where pretty much anything that I do, if I make something or if I fix something, I take a video and I show it on there. One of the things that I did do is I made a chicken coop with just a lot of extra wood that I had and some old materials and things like that. And I literally pieced this thing together using an old cabinet, a few boxes, some extra pallets, and some old 2x4s. And I literally made this thing for less than $20 off of things that I'm just reusing and repurposing. Another project that I did was I took some old privacy fence that I was taking down, and I cut those boards up and I turned that into a picket fence for my garden to keep my chickens out. Very easy to do and saved me a ton of money. And one of my most recent projects that I'm currently working on is I had a neighbor who had some pallets that he had taken a few pieces of wood off and he didn't want it anymore. And I made a couple of small raised beds. Now I haven't finished this yet, but here's a little bit of video of what I've gotten so far. But this is just some of the things that you can do instead of going out and maybe buying some raised beds. You can figure out a way to make them yourself. And I just did this with what was on those pallets. I took the wood off those pallets, and then I had a couple of 4x4s that I already had from something else. And I put these together and probably saved me $100 or so, because if I did buy it at the store, it would have cost at least $100 or so for these things. But where do you get some of these items? Maybe you don't have wood sitting around or anything like that. During trash day, go around your neighborhood and see if anybody's throwing anything away that you could repurpose, because it is that old adage, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Maybe you want to make some extra cash and people are throwing away metal. You can scrap that, take that to the scrap yard, get a few extra bucks in your pocket. I've done this and it's paid for quite a few things for me. You can also find things that you can turn into projects that you can do at home, and you'll be surprised what you can find that people throw away. Pretty amazing things. So yeah, repurpose, recycle, reuse. But I figured I'd throw in that half right now. Now, how can I do a half a frugal tip? Well, for me, it looks more like a rule. And I think it's a great rule to have, and it's a half rule. And it helps you out, especially if you're really new to this whole frugal lifestyle, or if you're looking to save more and just kind of change the way that you're living. And it's this: if you're the type of person who likes to have their coffee every single day, they have to buy Starbucks or what have you, instead of doing it every day, cut it in half. Can you do it 2 or 3 times? If you like going out to eat 4 times a month, can you cut that in half? Can you do it 2 times a month? It's all these little things where you may enjoy doing it and you don't want to take all of that away. You got to have a little bit of fun in life, correct? The trick to all of this is not taking absolutely everything away from you. And if you do, you're going to hate it a lot more. So what you want to do is you cut that in half. You're still getting things that you enjoy, but now you're saving money. And that's really a big part of this, is you don't want to torture yourself in any sort of way, but you want to figure out a way to save money. And I think this is a great way to do it, is that half rule. The other thing that you can always do within this rule is learn to make coffee drinks yourself. If, like I was saying, you want to drink coffee every single day, instead of buying it every day, learn to make it yourself at home. Or if there's a favorite meal that you have at a restaurant, learn to make it yourself at home. Now you can save money from going out, and you've learned to do something else at home, and you can have it whenever you want and still save money. I love this next one, and it's this: if you get a raise, live like you never got it. And what I mean by that is never touch it. Figure out exactly what that is per week, and instead of using that towards your normal lifestyle where now you're going to live more than what you normally were as far as spending wise goes, financially goes, take that money, put it in a 401k. Don't even look at it, don't even touch it. Or if you have an emergency fund that you need to build up, take that amount of money and put it in an emergency fund where you're not going to touch it. If anything goes bad, you have that fund. If you already have an emergency fund, use that money for investments. Use it to buy crypto. Use it to save to buy a rental property, things like that. So don't use that money to affect the way you're living. So now you're living below your means, and you're saving for investments or saving for that emergency down the road. And the last tip that I'm going to leave you with is this: try to start doing your own home repairs, at least some of the more basic ones. Now, a lot of people will hire things out. That's okay, but can you save money by doing some of the work yourself? And if you're not sure how to do that, look at YouTube. It's an absolutely amazing source of information. You just have to do a little bit of research on there. As I've said before, I have my own YouTube channel, Kai Projects, where I do a lot of home repairs, lawnmower repairs, you name it. I try to figure it out. I put it on my channel, and that saves me a ton of money. And that is it for the video. I really appreciate you all watching, and don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, because that's going to help this channel grow, and hopefully I can bring you more and even better content as time goes by. So thank you very much for watching.